Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to part 2 of Sweets and Poki Sushis from Lichin. We're doing a second part of this mukbang. Hope you guys are doing well, because having a fantastic day. You can see I'm out of the bath. We're running behind schedule, so without further ado, let's start. I'm excited because yesterday was awesome. My trusty with a Quebec flag, or a Quebec mascot, chopsticks, right? Pretending that I'm some kind of genius. Let's have one right away, because your boy is starving. Now, usually, you shouldn't, well, it doesn't really matter, but usually sushis are better the first day. But, oh yeah, maybe the evening. Put in the glasses, because, no notes today. I'm going up a fair head. Hell yeah. I had a subject in mind for my mic off today. But the subject I already did. It's like, nah, bro. Be original a little bit. Now, the mistake we made yesterday was to not have the rice roll first. Rice roll sounds like the best name. Whatever happened to rice gum? I miss that guy. I miss the old Kanye. Today, my friends, again, eating 12 sushi. We got some crab roll. We got some tempura shrimp. Got some gazai, which, you know what? Yesterday, the fried oyster was so good. We'll be eating those with the chopstick. Now, the reason why we're eating the roll first, because you see the time I'm taking to unblock it. This is time I need to be eating, because as I said yesterday, when you stop eating, you start digesting. Now, I'm super excited about tonight's subject. I had a subject in mind, like I said, but I was like, nah, bro, you already said it. So I already said that too. Awkward. We're also not forgetting the bubble tea we have. Watermelon bubble tea, or as you can see on the cup. Let's show you the guys of the cup. In the background, we have cookies cooking, melon d'eau, which again, it seemed French, but the application is in French, the DoorDash application. So where's my freaking straw, bro? My freaking straw's over there. My freaking straw. So I'm thinking that they assumed I was French. The same straw from yesterday. I have two straw, but fuck it. Why use twice the thing? I have two chopstick, but I'm still using the one from yesterday. Because again, good or bad matter depending on how you see it. Now today, I'm going to be using the sauce a little more. Now you may think that my table is super small, and that's why I'm quite restrained in my movement. The reality is there's a lot going on here, and I want to make sure that you capture everything, right? And the subject of tonight was actually super exciting, but kind of like a weird one. So what happened was, again and again, for the third time today, I had a subject. I already said it, right? And then I was like, what can I say? And I was listening to Mort, which is one of my favorite horror story channel. Delightful. 20 minutes rule. And I was like, why not use okay. Want the whole story? Want me humiliated? I heard it tonight is fear. I'm gonna say, I was listening to a more today because I felt like listening to a horror story, but I had to clean my clothes. Not today. Sweet and salty sauce, amazing. And in my apartment building, kind of sketch. So we have a taste watermelon, because that's something we didn't taste. Really good. Really, really. The issue we have here is good, but they put ice, and the ice I let this in my fridge today. The ice all melted, so the content of water is much more than it was, which makes it taste more like water. You guessed it. So we have a pretty lax management in my building. Sadly, they don't give a fuck. And what they did is, they used to leave a garage door open in summer. So, welcome raccoon, welcome rats, welcome homeless people, and the door to the garbage bin. Well, we have like a garbage. We don't really have a garbage disposal bin. We have a place where we leave the garbage that doesn't smell up in our apartment. I had so much kill yesterday. What's going on? Maybe I'm nervous. No. Good. Shrimp tempura better because of the taste. Or the texture. Taste wise, the crabs are winning the palm. So, in my basement, not my basement, the building basement, they used to leave the door open. And I will always remember. I went down my building to clean up my clothes, and back then I wasn't working. So even if I went there at 1 a.m. or 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., who cares? Now, I'm going down there. Okay, the reality is I was depressed. And I was really depressed. Quite sushi. Really good sushi at this place. The fact that I would go at 2 a.m. was not to meet people. That's the reality. So, we're going there, and I'm hearing some snoring. I'm like, what the fuck? And I see some people's feet with shoes going out the door of the washing machine room. And the washing machine room basically was heated, right? And we had squatters, which isn't a bad thing. Well, that's a bad thing. No more squatters, but it's not like, oh, it's the end of the world as we know it. I miss the intro. The intro of this video was gonna be, because every time we kiss, I get the feeling, and every time we touch, I feel I could die. Can you feel my heart beat fast? I want this to last. I need you in my life. Cascada, but I'm singing the Eric Cartman from South Park version, which in my heart is much better, but hey. Question of opinion, question of perception, question of taste. I'm having a problem today with the chopstick. I don't know why. So, a squatter scared me. More so by surprise than by actual scariness. So, I was listening to more. And usually when I go down the basement, I'm not scared. Because again, it's 8:30 p.m. What's gonna happen? But then, I spent the whole day listening to a horror story, which is a blessing and a curse. And I was like, dude, the subject of today is gonna be fear. Now, first of all, oh shit, I lost a sushi in the sauce. In the sauce, I have a problem with the chopsticks today. Again, I know I repeated myself, but it's bad. Come on, Inky. Come on, Inky. You did it wonderfully yesterday. So, technically, if we're doing this subject with fear, what is fear to me? No. What is fear? It's an emotion. Now, fear is a weird thing. Because if you look at jump scares, my house is a mess. I have to clean up. And I remember Freaky Friday. Such a good movie. I wanna get up, I wanna grow in. Yeah, go far away. Lindsay Lohan. The fuck happened to you? Sorry, Lindsay. That was enough to confuse me. Too much sauce. So, here's a weird thing. People have anger issues. It's an issue. Usually if you get angry, it's a reaction. If you're in love, it's with somebody or something. It's a reaction. If you're happy, it's a reaction. If you're sad, it's a reaction. Right? But fear, although it's a reaction, it's not a controlled reaction. You're gonna be scared for a couple seconds, and then it's okay. You're gonna be scared of an event, but then it's okay. You see, fear is such a weird emotion. And where does it stem from? Is it your instinct? Is fear the instinct telling you, okay, fuck the subject. Tonight I don't seem to be able to do it. You've forsaken me. When you think about fears, it's important to understand what's your personal relationship with fear. Now, I was a super sheltered child who only cared about video games, movies and shows. None of those movies and shows, none of them were scary. Oh yeah, they're so good, Gazai. Yeah, really good. And that comes to wonder. Was I sheltered because I was afraid, or I'm afraid because I was sheltered? You see? Again, fear is a weird thing. Where does it stem from? I think it stems from your instinct saying, hey, be careful. I think fear is hyper alert. It's being hyper alert in disguise. I mean, if you're afraid, if you have a jump scares, it's because you were hyper alert. Some people are gonna come behind you and surprise you and boo. And you'd be like, I'm afraid or not. Now, technically, if you're not a stressed person, if you're very relaxed, I'm not afraid. Right? Once again, not hyper alert, you're hyper relaxed in this environment, which is a great thing. But my relationship with fears is actually a really weird one. Growing up afraid, I always was man. I was hyperactive, which means I didn't want to go sleep early. And I know what you're saying. Oh, every single kid doesn't want to go to bed early. So I came from a weird family, a really weird family with a father with a very curious sense of justice. When I was young, I was able to go to sleep at 7:30. Now every kid, like, oh my God, you're so lucky, right? And then, till the age of 13, 14 and 15, my sleeping time was 7:30. Now, as a kid of 6, 7 years old, I didn't care. As a kid of 10, 11 years old, I would stay up in a dark room for hours upon hours with an hyperactive mind. So I would scare myself, right? And because I was scared, I wouldn't sleep. Putting myself through torture, which is crazy. So my fear come from understanding what am I trying to say is, by going to bed, right? All of those years, I was in a constant state of fear because every single night I had to face those demons. Now, facing the demon, this man is facing any single situation. There's two instincts: fight or flight. You can either fight the situation or run away from it. Now, in those evenings, chose to run away. Chose to hide, not face my fear. And I had a strict enough father to be like, oh, I'm not telling him I'm afraid because I'm gonna get in trouble. Which is nonsense, but hey. And the crazy thing is, that fear stands. I remember being so afraid. We went at the day camp. Back then, scary movie. The first one came out. And I was at day camp and they said, oh, there's two movies you want to watch. And I was so fucking afraid. Because people, they chose that one. I don't know, it was a funny movie. Funny. Hey, the first one is okay. Starting from the fourth one is disgusting. But again, in the fourth one, you do have Mac Miller. Rest in peace, Mac. And Snoop is still alive and well. See, I was afraid. And without even knowing the concept or the movie, I was afraid. Because I hear the movie was called Scary Movie. I was afraid of the word scary. Because I knew I didn't have as much courage as people, right? And it's funny. Because when I look back at my life, a lot of the problem I'm facing stem from that fear. That fear led to being shy. That fear led to be kind of passive towards aggressiveness. That fear developed into a fear of confrontation, a fear of abandonment, a fear of everything I could fear. Because the question isn't what are you afraid of? It's are you afraid? And you're gonna have really good moments in your life where you're happy. And then you're gonna realize that happiness, after a couple of months, you don't have any reason to be happy, but you're so used to being happy that you're just happy. You're just in a good mood, right? And that good mood stems from being happy. If you had a shitty situation, you got nothing that happened that day to make you sad, but you're sad. Now, the same thing can be said to be for fear. If you have anger, if you have a lot of anger and you don't have an escape for that anger, you don't have an outlet for that anger, you'll stay angry. Now, for fear is the same thing. If you don't have an outlet to let out that fear, if you don't confront your fear, you'll be stuck in a place of fear your whole life. Now, it didn't matter what I was going to be afraid of. My body, my mind was so used to being afraid that I was afraid of all situations. I remember, what tea, bro? I remember one of my friends, Simon Gasso. I owe this man a lot. Shout out to Simon Gasso. Or Simon Twim Gasso. This guy took me under his wing. He came from a privileged background. And in his mind, you had to give back. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but I was one of his pet projects. Took me under his wing. We talked about shit. He helped me out. He gave me the sense and value of my needs versus my wants. He gave me the sense of value of hard work. Gave me a job when I didn't have one. But one of the things he said, I will always remember, we went to his house. And we got pizza. And he said, what flavor you want? And I said, I didn't know. And he kept pushing me to tell him a pizza. Right? And the craziest thing is, he did that because he saw a scene of Fight Club, which one of my favorite movies, where they're keeping on asking him, what are you? Who are you? What do you want? And he's like, and he told me, if you don't tell me the flavor of pizza you want, I'll pick up the most disgusting and you'll eat it. And again, I knew this guy had my back. I knew this guy had brotherly feelings towards me. He really, really had my back. So I did trust him, and he was like a bigger brother figure, you know. So like, okay, and it's crazy because when he threatened me with the worst pizza, which is not a threat, but still, I knew right away the pizza I wanted. Now, because I wasn't facing a situation where I had to fight, I chose to run away. Didn't matter what it was, the situation, I would run away. And that's something I've dealt with a lot of my life. My indecisiveness come from a feeling of fear. My fear of engagement, my fear of commitment came from a fear. You see, I stand in front of you. I stand before you. I stand in front of you, being very, very cocky, being very assertive, being very certain of myself. But the reality is, I'm in my apartment alone. What's gonna happen to me? There's no situation I can fear, right? But if I was in the open world, I'm quite shy. In the open world, I cannot talk to girls because I'm super shy. In the real world, there's I talk about Shao a lot on the channel. One of my good friends, Shao. And Shao, he has the habits of always having a lot of friends around. So every time you chill with Shao, there's a lot of people. And I'm not comfortable in the situation. I'm not comfortable in one-on-one, two-on-one. You know, I'm comfortable with there being a small group, not a big group. And I get uncomfortable. And I understand that this is a fear that comes from me. This feeling of being uncomfortable. It's like a feeling from fear. Am I interesting enough? Do I belong? And all of those traits, all of those questions, all of those fears are coming from here. They're not coming from the world outside of me. They're coming from the world inside of me. I am an ocean. I am the sea. There's a world inside of me. You see, and all of those are direct correlation of fear. And it sucks because you understand that fear is a direct reaction to your undecisiveness. So what I mean by that is you're fearful because you cannot take action, right? And you cannot take action because you're fearful. Now, when you don't take action, you enter this state of mind where you overthink, you overanalyze, and then you freeze. And because you freeze, the situation keep on moving on. So you're coming from a moment where you were in the moment, you're coming from a moment where everybody didn't know the reaction or the answer, to a moment where you're the only one that doesn't know because you're stuck overthinking, right? And that's a feeling of fear. That's the creation of fear. You're like, I'm in a position where I'm disadvantaged. I'm in a position where I'm alone. You're not in a position when you're alone. You're in a position where you put yourself alone. I have to blow my nose. Blame it on the spicy mayo. Kevin Spacey. I don't wonder what's going on with that guy. A horrible situation about a guy who did something wrong 30 years ago. It got out recently and he was cancelled. See? It's a crazy situation, and all of this for fear. Now, how can you fight fear? How did I fight fear? To be quite honest, I'm still fearful, but I'm much more confident, and I'm getting confidence every day by making those videos. Making those videos, it's making me more confident because I'm more assertive in my ideas because, again, we live in a situation, we live in a world where it's all about views and like. Although I don't get the views, although I don't get the likes, it's still a situation of I'm facing myself because I'm seeing myself and I'm talking to myself. Which is another one of my tattoos. So 2 tattoos today. Talking to myself, pushing everyone away. They can't see it in my eyes. I needed them to stay. Something will be for something forget. Dun, 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 when I find my way back home again. The light to carry on. It never seems to end. I'm in affliction. Wonder what happened to them. See, I realize that me talking to myself was exactly what I need to be. Because me talking to myself, I wasn't able to talk to people. I can talk so much shit in my mind, but in reality, I can't talk shit. So by talking to myself, I'm talking to a person. And it feels weird. You know how crazy this is? You know what's fucking insane? You know how life is well put? By being somebody who's not as pretty as other people, by being told constantly that I'm ugly, I stopped paying attention to my appearance. And by stopping paying attention to my appearance, I stopped looking at myself in the mirror. Now, if there's a mirror, I'm going to look at myself. But did I ever in my entire life spend 30, 40 minutes in front of the mirror? No. because I know I'm not the best looking, and I don't care about how I look. Now, the reality is, by not looking in the mirror for that long, making a video where I'm filming myself and I'm seeing myself talk, feels weird, because again, it's like talking to myself, but I'm talking to you guys. It's like facing the mirror but talking, but this time it's not facing the mirror, is it's talking, right? And it's registered. There's this social experiment, there's this new parenting style. When kids swears a lot, you put them in front of the mirror and you making them swear, and because they're swearing at themselves, and they don't want to swear at themselves because they realize it hurts. So all of those fears are coming from those videos, something that really, really helped me out, and I really want to stretch it out, right? And it's crazy, but I especially want to give a shout out to the Child Play, which is the Chucky universe, the Curse of Chucky. Now, the reason why The Curse of Chucky is such a good movie, the reason why it's one of those movies that I fucking love, one of my favorite movie, is because, again, I wasn't working. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. I was working at A&W. But at A&W, I was making a shift of 6 hours a week. They wanted me to quit, but I was too nice. And I was in denial that they wanted me to quit because, as I said, I'm too nice. Why would they want to fire somebody that's too nice? Well, because that guy doesn't do shit. I didn't get that. I was young. And I live in the Sheen, and it was in Pure Fun, and I take the bus. So I had to go to Dorval, and Dorval, I was next to the shopping center. In the shopping center, there's a Walmart, and at that Walmart, there's a DVD bin of movie with $5 movie. Now, you might think this is a great opportunity. You might think this is a blessing in disguise. You might think that this is life opportunity, but it's not. Because believe me, when you're going that often to the $5 bin, you realize that there's a lot of the same movie, right? So I bought every single movie I could until Curse of Chucky. I saw Curse of Chucky in the bin, and I was like, you know what, dude, this movie is the only option I have for a new movie. I'm gonna buy it. But I was afraid. I was afraid of the movie in itself because, again, it was a scary movie. And Chucky, the beautiful thing, and this is what I mean by fate. This is what I mean by everything happened for a reason. This is what I mean by a greater purpose. Now, Chucky, if you don't know Chucky, Chucky is a doll that's been habitated by the spirits of a serial killer named Charles Lee Ray that had a nickname that was called Chucky, and every single good guy doll have a name ending with E. Just happens to be a coincidence. Now, Chucky came out in the 80s, and it was an 80s slasher, and Chucky wanted to be very serious. And the principle, because trust me, when I watched Curse of, okay, the principle of everything can be scary, even a doll, right? And a doll that's killing people, and a doll that's alive, but a doll that's alive with a evil spirit, which is Charlie Ray. So that was a spirit. So if you look at the first three movies, which is Child Play 1, 2, and 3, Chucky is meant to be scary. Now, if you look at that scene of the 80s slasher movie, which is including a lot of people like Hellraiser, Jason, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Chucky, forgetting one, the Chainsaw Massacre, forgetting one, for fuck's sakes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, no, that's another movie. So it was a really popular thing in the 80s, the slasher, and Chucky established itself. Now, if you look at Jason, if you look at Freddy, those movies are scary, gory, but they're actually kind of funny because of the effects and because of the storyline. Now, Chucky was really funny because it was a fucking doll, and a fucking doll, you can take it and throw it around. You're like, well, okay, how is that scary? Now, Chucky's Child Play is genius. Fucking genius. There's a cult following for that movie or that universe. Child Play, they released a 3 and they took a huge break. They took like a 10 years break. Actually, it's crazy because in Child Play 3, you're seeing the actor that plays Andy Barkett, which is the main character, sorry. and he's growing up. And in the Curse of Chucky, which is technically, well, no, that's not true. There's Seed of Chucky and Bride of Chucky, but those are hated by the fan. Those are hated, so they don't really count. But if you look at Curse of Chucky, the actor that plays Andy Barkley, um, is grown up, completely grown up, and what they realized was in Bride and Child of Chucky, they were trying to do something different. They were trying to say, okay, and see the Chucky and then Bride of Chucky, they realized that Chucky was a cold character. People love Chucky. So they were like, yo, people, they like Chucky. Let's make Chucky shine. So those two movies came out, and it's less about the killing, more about Chucky himself. So in the See the Chucky, we have his son, and his son is not a killer. So Chucky is like, no, I'm a killer. My son's going to be a killer, right? Which, again, is kind of crazy movie because you're like, this is stupid. This is a stupid concept. But if you delve into it, this is such an amazing thing, because if you delve into it, you realize that it's just a father and son movie. If you look at Bride of Chucky, Bride of Chucky is the fact that Chucky has a woman, has a wife, and they did that because they wanted Chucky to seem more human by having a wife. Now, Curse of Chucky, they realized that Chucky is now a big joke. The child play universe is not a big joke. It's more of a comedy than a gory movie. So Curse of Chucky is them embracing the comedic aspects and the gory aspects. So you remember when I told you the very first scary movie I saw was Scary Movie? That was Funny Movie? Well, Curse of Chucky was the second. And because of that, I started watching a lot of horror story. Now, again, and I want to say how crazy life is. I spend 40 hours a week. And this is a story I told fucking forever, ever. We are never, ever getting back together. Why am I singing to this with? I have no fucking clue. But I like her. I work 40 hours a week. I put my music at 2 times the speed because I'm crazy, and I watch my YouTube video at 2 times the speed. Trying to watch one of my video at 2 times the speed, you won't be able to because I talk too fast and I talk too much. Bubble tea. And when you do that, the people that you follow really quickly turn you off because you've been listening to all their content. Look at somebody like Markiplier. Look at somebody like The Angry Grandpa. Look at somebody like Mike Juggernuggets. Look at somebody like Markiplier. Those people have been in the game for years and years and years. Yet they still have only 1,000. Now, if your 1,000 video, most of them are 20 minutes. That's 300 hours. 300 hours divided by 80 is 3 weeks. Again, watch 10 years of content in 3 weeks. Now, if you're lucky enough and you know somebody like Casey Neistat, it goes a lot more. But then you realize that you have a huge problem, and that you're running out of content creator before finding some new one. One of them, when I found, so sorry, I started listening to podcasts or audiobooks. Now, the audiobooks I couldn't focus enough at work, but I wanted longer form of content. So I found Kate Boga, which was a longer form content audio, and I was like, you know what? Kate tells a story. What if I was to listen to a story? And if you go on YouTube and you look up stories, there's not a lot of them. But if you look up horror story, there's a whole genre. There's a whole set of YouTube. I was afraid. But I still tried. And you want to know the craziest thing? You want to know the fucking craziest thing? No, that's not true. I forget something about fear. One of the big things that helped me was Walking Dead. And that's the same concept. Walking Dead was a show I wanted to watch. I couldn't watch, so I downloaded the manga. Illegally, of course, allegedly. And just like Mort, just like at work, I could watch and read Walking Dead. I could listen to a horror story when it was broad daylight. I could watch Mort. I could sit to Mort at work because I was surrounded by people. What could ever happen to me? But then I started watching it at night, alone, and I was afraid. It makes you realize that being afraid is being afraid, the fear of the unknown, or the fear of what might happen. And the fear of what might happen also is the unknown, because you never know what can happen. This roof can be falling down, mainly because it's a cheap roof, but it can be falling down. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair ladies. Did you know that this song didn't have copyrighted? Yeah, you're welcome. So I see all of this and I'm thinking, what is fear? And the answer is, I don't know what's fear. I'm seeing this and I'm saying, how can I fight fear? To be honest, I have given you advice on how to be more comfortable with fear, and I don't know how to fight it. And then, by making this video, thinking out loud, I realized there's only one option for fear. Is your reaction to it. Do you let fear take control? Or do you let fear take control, or you take control of your fear? Do you let it affect you, or you don't? Because that's technically it. I was talking about anger issues. You can get really angry. It matters how you face it. You can get really sad. It matters how you face it. You can get really happy and want to tell the world. And this is something I learned at work. Me being very happy and understanding that not everybody at work is being happy. And me being happy at work kind of make me a dick. Because people are like, why is this guy more happy than me, right? And you gotta learn the rule. And that's the reason. This is such a confused mess, but hey. So yeah. Love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.